All right, we are live, so give them a few minutes to come on and let me put us on this screen so I can see. Got it. All right, well, we're live. Hey, Just Be Real, how are you guys doing? It's Shani and Josiah. Hello, how are you doing? Chanel, Linnell, how are you guys doing? Give me just a second. I'm going to send this over to Facebook. And give me just a minute. Just Be Real. I'm going to send this over to Facebook. Let me find my live. Okay, give me a second, everybody. Hold on just a minute. Let me make sure I am live. Hey, everybody, how are you guys doing? The comments are a little delayed, but that's all right. Let me find us. Just Be Real. Can you look on YouTube to make sure I'm on there? And the comments are a little delayed, so I apologize, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, everybody. Give me a second. Let me find the live video. How is everybody doing? Hello, everybody. Give me a second. I'm trying to find the live video so I can share it wherever it could be. Hello, everybody. I think there's a little pause, but that's okay. There we go. Let me share the live. Just Be Real. Can you let me know? Hey, Andrea, can you let me know if you see the live? Just Be Real. Could you let me know if you see the live? Because it says I'm live, but I don't see a picture. Hold on, let me text her. Hopefully we're good. Can you guys see me? Everybody see me okay? Can everybody see me okay? Hey, Hash Brown, how are you? Hey, Lorraine. Hello, everybody. I know the video is delayed. So the video is delayed. Hash Brown, you can see me? Everything is okay on that end? I'm getting ready to share this to my Facebook and Twitter. Hello, everybody. I see. Okay, she sees me on. Okay, I haven't put it on Facebook yet. Give me just a second. Let me put it on Facebook. So we're good on YouTube. Let me get us good on Facebook. So I see some of the comments are slow because I don't have all the channels connected. But thank you guys so much for being here. Give me just a second. Let me find it. There goes the live. I found it. I found our live. Hello, everybody. Come on in here. Give me a second. Let me find our poster. Oops. There we go. Hey, everybody. Okay, you see me? Okay, thank you, Lorraine. I think the comments are kind of delayed. So I'm going to just go with that. And I know, so when you guys start asking questions, I don't want to rush you guys. I just want you guys to know that all the comments and everything is delayed, okay? But I'm getting ready to, let me post the link on our Facebook so they see us on Facebook and they know that we're live. I apologize, Marcus. I'm sorry for taking my time slow.
I'm good, sis. I'm enjoying this.
You let them come in here.
Come on in.
Okay. So let us put this on Facebook so they'll know that we are live right now. We are live right now. All righty. Well, hello there. You just a while since you've been here, but I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. So let me, okay, I got to do one more. Oops, wrong one. There we go. So let me put on that we are live right now. Live. Join us live right now. All right, you guys share it too. So you guys have it out there. Share it, you guys, share it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's taking a minute to post, but that is okay. It is posting. Hello, Naya. How are you? Hello, Nikki. How are you guys doing? Give me just a second. It is posting. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. Well, you guys know that. Oh, Andrea said, hello, Mr. Marcus.
Hey, Andrea.
So Free Kitty Stevens, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Well, you guys know that we have the 2020 Overcoming Narcissist Abuse Conference coming up on July 30th. Yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was Tuesday. What's today? Today's Friday, isn't it? So Wednesday, we had Miss Bridget Griffin. She came and she allowed me to interview her. She is one of our conference speaker, and of course, my brother. Some of you guys may know him, may not know him, Mr. Marcus Monroe. He deals with the law of mentality and the secret society, secret male society. There's groups that are developing that you guys see, that you've heard about. If you guys go back around this time on my videos on YouTube, he talked about it in the interview that I did with him last time. And this year's conference, that the title is Training Your Terrorist. And I wanted you guys to meet him so that you guys be ready. He's going to give you some teasers. So if you guys are not registered, tomorrow, Saturday at 6 o'clock, I'm closing out general admissions. So if you are planning to come to Atlanta, the general admissions are closed because I have to get a head count for the hotel. So I have to wrap everything up tomorrow. However, you are still welcome and the links will still be available. Thank you, Lorraine. The links will still be available for you to register for the Zoom. So you'll get to see the whole conference Zoom. And those of you that are VIP, you're going to enjoy these beautiful white stretch Hummer limos. And we're going to be doing fine dining. We're going to be bougie and we're going to do our thing. We're going to be bougie for the evening. We're going to be bougie. So, well, let's get started. So I wanted to introduce to some of you guys, you know him. You guys may know him from Monday on Apostle Helen Sadler's Your Destiny Helper. He has spoken a few weeks ago. You guys have heard him talk. Phenomenal speaker. I love him. He is. Now I met him a few years ago on Clubhouse, and when he was talking, he didn't realize until me and him had a conversation. He was actually talking about narcissists training other narcissists. And so this year he's coming in and Marcus, let them know, without giving them everything, because the only way you're going to get everything is when you're at the conference, but let them know, some of the things that you're going to be discussing and why.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you, Dr. Carmen Bryant, for just having me be part of this broadcast. And I'm really excited about the conference. I'm excited about all your conference, actually. This year, I'm really passionate because it's dear to me. I feel like, things are going to the next level, and I'm believing that everybody who comes out to this conference, whether they're live in attendance or they're watching it via broadcast, I'm just believing a special blessing just going to just impact everybody. And I'm thinking lives are going to be changed. People are going to walk away with so much knowledge and wisdom. So I'm excited for it. If I could share with you, the things I'm going to be talking about at this conference, how do I go into this without going too much? Because I don't want to give a lot away. Years ago, I wrote a book And that book was something that I was sharing with just a few people. I wrote 100 laws based on my experience. 100. I came up with 100 of them, just based on my experience of getting invites to these meetups. And when I tell you, it's a whole other world out there that people don't know about. And talking to these guys and high-powered people in high-powered positions, you would just be floored to see how they really operate. But I was able to come up with, from what I could gather, 100 laws that these guys operate with, and how they train and brainwash other men, and how they train and brainwash young men who are coming into the industry, either through sales, customer service, accounting, you name it, they cover all spectrums. But I broke down 12 top laws that I think every woman must know. Out of those 100, I was able to break it down to 12 laws that every woman must know to understand how men run game, and how you're training them and helping them run that game without you even knowing it. And I'm gonna share the 12 laws on how they do it, and how they implement it, how they train it, how they pass it to other guys. You're gonna know the 12 laws. I'm gonna share each one with you.
So it fits right in there with the title where it says training your terrorist.
Exactly. Exactly.
And the one thing that the one thing that I want to make sure that people know, and I said this on Wednesday when Bridget was on, me, myself, I want to make sure you guys know that I am a survivor as well. And the one thing I don't like is victim shaming or victim blaming. And so I don't want you to think that just by that title, training your terrorist, when we're talking about this is not victim blaming or victim shaming, but this is to strengthen you all to protect yourselves. A lot of you guys are wondering, like, how do I go out there and date? I haven't dated. I've been in this relationship with a narcissist, and a lot of you guys that are going to be at this conference are going to have a lot of questions for a person who has been in that organization himself. And Marcus, I don't know if that's going to be too much information, but could you tell them, what are you talking about when you say these secret societies, and let them know how you know about these secret societies?
Sure. So these secret societies, I like to call them power circles almost in a way, because that's the real way you enter into them. You enter into them through power circles. I've come to know them, sis, by being a top performer. I've always been in sales. And so being in sales, middleware software sales, I was the guy that a company would hire, and I would handle a region, let's say North America, and I would bring in sales for the company. I would contact C+ level executives, A+ level executives, owners of corporations, and engage them in opportunities. And it would move from an engagement call to, literally, we're talking over $400 million in closing deals with each particular prospect. But once you're able to start closing repeatedly, they can see the pattern that, oh, this guy knows how to generate money. He can get people on the phone. He can engage them. He gets them to sign deals. They like this guy, and he closes $400 million deals. So once you keep repeating this, you become a golden goose to them. And then from there, you get invites into power circles. And these power circles are meetups or meetings or events that take place for what they call winners. And when the winners go here, this is where you start meeting these misogynistic guys, men, who are very powerful, very influential, and they actually have secret society groups. So that's how I got into it. I got invites to tons of these. And without naming names, maybe I can go into a few names at the event, but I'll just say this: heads of Microsoft would be there. Heads of Microsoft would be at these events and doing crazy things. There's a company that makes the planes and the tanks. The head of those companies were there, and you would think like, oh, it's just the giant corporations. No, it even came down to the small startups. It came down to the small startups. There were startups that just got their Series 2, investments, and that Series 2 investment could have been 20 million. They're now considered power players. They're invited. So that's how I got into these power circles, and that's how I know about it. I actually lived it. I actually lived it for a little while, and being in it, I noticed that as I was getting invited, they don't come right out and tell you this is what we are. They're not going to come out and tell you that. You can put two and two together. You see the connection. You see how they're operating, and I was able to distinct that. And I just didn't like the way I felt. I didn't like the way I saw they were treating women. I didn't like the bartering system that they had. I'll talk about that at the conference too. I think a lot of women need to know about the bartering system. And just to go a little bit into the bartering system, in these power circles, they don't need to use money. They use influence. So if I wanted, let's say, for example, if I wanted to impress you because I met you and I thought you were of the right caliber, that's another thing. That, and I'll go into this in the conference. When a guy that's in the circle meets a woman, he has to somehow present that to the circle, the woman, to see if she's of the right caliber for him. Because each guy that's in that circle actually has to report to somebody.
Wow.
Yeah. So now the other thing is, if you are not of that right caliber, they're not going to throw you away. They will do something called red shirting. Have you ever heard this term before?
No.
Red shirt? No.
I think you said it before, but
yeah, red shirt term. It comes from a football terminology, where like if you are a freshman at college and you're playing football, you don't play that first year. You sit the bench, but they give you a red shirt, so you're called a red shirt.
Mhm.
But they do that with women in these circles. So for example, you might not be the right fit to go to these events with them, but they're not going to get rid of you. They're just going to redshirt you. So in conversations, they will say this. They say, "Yeah, I got a nice woman. You got to look at her. She's bad, but I'm going to do X, Y, and Z with this one. Well, where is she? She's redshirted. Meaning, I just got you on the bench, and I'm not going to invite you to anything because I'm still working on you." And that's a
so
whole
you're going
other
to train her. He's going to train her. So check this out. What you're saying is some of the things that I talk about in the first place about narcissists is that a narcissist, let me get the right terminology. A narcissist will connect. Now, I'm going to say it from the narcissist terminology from what I teach. And then you think about it from the organization that you were in. So I teach when a narcissist meets you, they're not building a rapport with you. They're interrogating you to see your weak points, to see your strong points, in order really to infiltrate. I think that's the word, infiltrate you. And what they're doing is trying to figure out your weaknesses. And what they'll do is pretend to be that strength to lock in with you. That love bombing phase. They're going to show you all the beautiful things and how wonderful they are, and take you to islands that don't exist and feed you food that is prehistoric. And then what happens is they begin to mirror you because you're comfortable with yourself. They mirror you in order to pull you in. Once they pull you in, they go back in and they change your narrative because they want power and control. So they change your narrative. They change your point of view. They change your perspective until you comply with them and what they want. And if you don't comply, they do things like silent treatment. They do things like smear campaigns. They do things like ghosting. They do everything to emotionally manipulate or damage or hurt you in order to make you get back into compliance, to include showing off another woman, almost to a point where a woman will beg and do anything. And then the woman will look at themselves like, how did I get to this point? how did I get to this point? How did I get here? So
Yes,
does that
it's all
sound like,
strategic.
that's a narcissist? Does that sound like that organization?
This is 100% exactly right. So it's all strategic, though. You have to understand, it's all strategic. It's not that the guy's doing it on his own whim. He's been trained. That's how you do it. He's been trained to do that. When I break down these 12 laws, everybody in this conference is going to walk away with an understanding that when they go back out in the real world, they're gonna know the signs, they're gonna know keywords, they're gonna know actions, and they're gonna know how to properly react so they don't run into these guys. Because contrary to popular belief, these power circles are getting bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could thank Kevin Samuels. You can thank Kevin Samuels for that. The guy passed away, but there are people trying to take his spot now, right? But the circles have gotten bigger because there are a lot of young men and a lot of older men even now who desire to have control over women and to just simply dominate women. But the key is they don't know how to approach women, and they don't have the financial resources to get with women the way they want to, right? But if you join one of these power circles, guess what happens? They can promise you the money you're going to make. It's guaranteed. We're going to train you on the etiquette, guaranteed. We're going to even change the way you look. We're going to change that about you. You've been dressing wrong. I'm telling you, they do this. You're not dressing right. All right? Listen to this. Even down to the type of cologne you should be wearing.
Wow.
I'm not making that up. Even down to the type of cologne you should be wearing. Right? So that you constantly leave lingering smells. Yeah, this is real stuff. This is real stuff.
But you know what? And see, when we talk about narcissists, what I have taught before is that, now keep in mind that you're talking about a group and an organization.
Yes.
And they're being trained to do this. So a lot of them are also being trained by those that have NPD, that have narcissistic personality disorder. They may not ever been able to articulate or put words to it, but now they're being trained. Now imagine this, a person that, a narcissist that's not even in this organization, they do that out of their instinct. They do that. They know how to use fragrances. They use all 5 of the senses. Yeah. The sight, what you see. So what is impressive to you, what you hear, because most men, women externalize, men internalize. Right. Women talk a lot. So men, and correct me if I'm wrong, but women talk a lot. So men just quiet. And if we talk too much, we'll tell you everything that you need to know. You may say one or two things.
Can I interject there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That's one of the lessons that they teach. Just so you know that. That's one of the lessons that they teach. It was crazy to me when I first heard it. When I first heard it, I was like, nah. But this one guy was doing it and was teaching it, and he was teaching it to a group of there were different age ranges. I would say 50, 60, all the way down to guys who were in their early 20s. But this is what he did. He said, and exactly what you said, sis. He said, you can get a lot of information out of women. All you have to do is start the conversation and then go silent. And no matter how uncomfortable, this is what he said, no matter how uncomfortable the silence is or how long it lasts, don't break. Because women feel, this is what he said, women feel they need to feel the silence.
Right. Right. I teach the same, and check this out. I teach the same thing. The silence, number one, most people can't handle silence. They feel obligated to fill in those gaps. Yep. Number two, silence can be used as a weapon or it can be used as a tool.
Yes.
In the master's program, when we're learning the Master of Arts or Master of Science of doing therapy, one of the things that they teach us is to use silence as a tool, because oftentimes the client feels obligated to keep talking. And a lot of times they'll tell you what it is that you're looking for. Now, a therapist, the ones that are not narcissistic, a therapist needs to know information. They need to know, that unspoken word. They need to know the body language. They need to know what it is that you won't tell them. And they'll be silent so that you'll talk to them, because they need to know how to help you. But now imagine you have a narcissist that uses that, and that silence is very uncomfortable. That's just like a guy calling a woman, and he doesn't say your name he doesn't say his name. He doesn't say your name on the phone, because he's probably juggling a lot of women. And what he'll do is he'll pick up the phone, you pick up the telephone, and he'll say, "Hey, it's me." Number one, if she got other people, she gonna say, "Me who?" or say the wrong name or whatever. And then he may say, "Hey, it's me." And she may be like, "What's up?" He's like, "Nothing." And then there's nothing being said. And then she'll just start talking.
So let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of how it works, right? The whole silent prospecting is this way. So let's say I needed you to take care of something that was going to cost me, I don't know, $500 to $1,000. I know it's going to cost me that much. It could be something on my car. Maybe it's a new outfit. Maybe I want something, a new gaming system. I don't know. But I want you to pay for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you, and I'm going to go, oh, by the way, whenever he calls, you'll notice his voice is slow. It's deep, because he's trying to create a vibration.
Go on, say, you can say it, brother. It's sexy.
It's sexy. It's sexy. He Barry Whiting you out. So,
yeah, he do. Right.
So it's always that, right? Because he's trying to create the vibration of that deep, "Hey, how are you?" It's always like that. You're always going to notice that. But here's what he's going to do. So if I was going to do that to you, I'd go, "Hey, Carmen, what's going on?" And you'd be like, "Hey." The one thing women, the biggest mistake they make is they go high. They go very high in their greeting on the phone. And the moment you do that, the guy knows, got it. So here's what happens. If a guy calls you and goes, "Hey, what's up, Carmen?" and you go, "Hey," he immediately knows, like, got it. Okay, I'm about to take her all the way around. What you should do is you should be at the same tone, like almost like you're not excited that he called you. You should just be like, "Hi, what's up?" And he can't detect the excitement. So if you go high, like, "Hey," he goes, in his mind goes, "Wow, she was anticipating, like longing for this call."
So
now
we're training the guys.
You're training them. So now I'll do this. I'll go, you'll go, what's up? What's going on, Marcus? I'll take a deep breath. "I don't know, babe. I'm having problems with my car. I just don't know when to get the funds. I got a few buddies that's going to help me out, but I don't know." And I'm going to go silent. And then you're going to sit there silent because you don't know what to say. And you're going to be like, "So which one of your buddies you think gonna help?" Because you're going to feel like, I need to fill in the blank here. It's too silent. And I'm going to go, "I really don't want to bother boys." And you know what you're going to eventually do? You're going to, and I'm doing this on purpose to you, but I'm cornering you. This is what's called a visible chokehold. An invisible chokehold. I talk about this all the time, the invisible chokehold. This is called the invisible chokehold. It's where I've got my hand around your throat without you even seeing me. So what I'm doing now is I'm directing this conversation with silence. So I'm just going to go silent, because guess what? Guess what women do when a guy stays silent long enough like that? She obligates herself to fix his problem. And that's what he's waiting
by nature. We got to figure it out.
By nature.
Wow.
And if he stays silent long enough, typically the woman will say, Well, I got a couple of dollars. Maybe I can help a little bit. Yeah, babe, I thought you could help with. And this is how it goes. And that's just like a novice approach at it. There's guys. Let me tell you a quick story. It's a true story. This is one of the experiences I had. So this gentleman I met, he owned chains of jewelry stores. He owned chains of jewelry stores. This guy, okay. And the girlfriend. Do you remember these stores called Mandy back in the day? There was these clothing stores called Mandy, Mandee, I believe it was Mandy's.
I think I've
Well,
heard of them before.
yeah, there was a brand of clothing stores called Mandy, and the woman he was dating owned Mandy's clothing store. So he called me up one day and he goes, "Hey Marcus, what are you doing?" And I go, "Oh, nothing, I'm hanging out." And he goes, "Hey, didn't you tell me the other day?" I can't make this up. He said, "Hey Marcus, didn't you tell me the other day that you needed some new outfits?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, I'm picking you up." So he picks me up, and I go, "Where are we going?" He goes, "To my girlfriend's store." And we go inside, and he goes like this. He walks me in, and he goes, "You're gonna get." He said, When I give you the cue, just take anything you want." And he goes, he walks up to her and he says, "Hey, babe," in a deep voice, and he goes, "Yeah, I just thought I'd stop by to see you." Kissed her on the cheek, hugged on her, and went, "My boy Marcus here, he needs some clothes, he's got some things he's got to do, and he needs some new clothes." And then went silent. And she went, "Really, Marcus, you need some new clothes?" And I looked at him and he looked at me and he answered for me. He was like, "Didn't I just tell you that?" And went silent. He's like, "I don't know, he's trying to figure out how he's going to get these new clothes he has for this event." And she went, I could, he could get some outfits here." And he went, "Perfect. And Marcus, go around and just get anything you want out of here, as much as you want. Don't worry about it." And she went and she said, "Hold on. Listen to this." She went, "Hold on." She got on the intercom and told the staff, "Do not bother the gentleman that's walking around getting clothes. It's okay. Just help him as much as you can." And I was young. I was in my 20s at the time, right? And I was like, "Are you serious?" And he walked me around and said, "Take that leather coat. Buy that. Take that suit. Take all of that." And we walked out. We walked out with loads of outfits, and we just all dropped it in his trunk. We got in his car. As we drove off, he said, "Now we're gonna go to my girl's store, who owns the shoe store."
Wow. Wow.
So what I'm saying is, I witnessed him do that. I watched him do that, and I was just blown away. I was like, "Oh, this can't be real." And you want to know what was the craziest part about that? That woman was absolutely beautiful. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at that woman. I was like, "Look at how beautiful she is." What I noticed was she was longing for his companionship, and he would not
He
give
trained
her.
her like that.
He trained her like that, but he would never give her the full companionship. He never gave it to her. He
And
gave
so
her
the
just
more,
enough.
the more he didn't give her, the more she craved it.
The more
He
she
knew what he
craved
was doing. The more he took it away because he knew
it,
that
the
was
more
her
she
weak
craved it.
spot. And so because that's
Yes,
your weak spot in the beginning, I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'm gonna take away like a drug, and you're gonna fiend for it.
yeah.
So when I give you
He was
just a little bit of it, you'll take advantage of. You'll do whatever
yeah,
it is to try to pull me back in.
yeah. And she thought she was making him happy by just doing whatever he needed. But I later learned what he was doing. He was putting the invisible chokehold on.
Wow. You guys hearing this? I got people over here. Andrea said, "Wow." Lorraine said, "Wow."
Yeah.
Let me see who else. Lorraine said, "Nauseous." Andrea says, so we got to be one step ahead of them. But he's going to teach you. He's going to teach you something. I mean, every single one of these speakers are going to bring something to you. And when I tell you, you know, ladies, and I know, you know, Marcus, one of the things that I know and I say all the time is that, you know, there are, you know, the people that listen to me, the people that watch my channel, everybody, you know, comes from different walks of life, number one. And we do have people that are in the LGBTQ community. And I know, and for those of you, just to let you know, we can only talk about what our experiences are. And we can only talk about character traits. We can talk about things that we know, you know, and so we don't want you to feel that we don't want to offend you, you know, but we can only talk about what we know as personal experiences. Let me ask you this, because even in the LGBTQ community, there are homosexual men that are in this group.
Yeah.
So what about, so how does that apply to, what about like in the LGBTQ community where women are not attracted to the men? How does that work then?
Guess what? Guess what? So you have women who are in the LGBTQ community who are in these exact power circles. You know, sis,
So there's a male and a female.
So every, here's the thing, for every man or male circle, there is a female circle, but there's LGBTQ circles too.
Shut up! I didn't know that.
100%. 100%.
Wow.
I could tell you a story. So this happened. This was, man, almost 10 years ago that I remember. So at the time, it was in the financial district in New York City. If anybody's familiar with that, that's the Wall Street area. They have this giant bull at this this statue of a bull at this intersection down there. And believe it or not, down there in that area, they would have the most powerful meetups. That's where a lot of them took place, down in there. I remember going that day. I remember going down some cobblestone street, passing that bull statue, going into this building, and you would think like it was about 7:30 p.m. at the time, and the office buildings were closed, but the doorman was still there, and he let me in, and I'm walking through the hallway like, ain't nobody here. The building's closed. But then there was a sign that said, enter the door here, and I opened it. It was loaded. It was, I'm telling you, it was people from Microsoft. I could go through the names, right? But here's the crazy thing, right? So when I got in there, I remember there was this one person I met there, and it was a female also, who was new. She must have been her first time. Somebody gave her an invite. And she said, you know, I got an invite to go to another meeting after this one. Would you like to come with me? And I went and got a few of my friends, and I was like, let's go to this one. Guess where this one was? This one, I can't believe it myself. This one was in Brooklyn at another place, and entertainer there, and she was part of the LGBTQ. And the girl that came with us, she says the way she was aggressively approaching it. And a friend of mine came up to me and said, you know, she handles one of those power circles. She runs one of those power circles, bro. She trains. I thought he was making it up.
Wow.
I thought he was making it up. He said, nah, man, this guy told me, he said, Marcus, what they do is they become handlers to them. So they're not attracted to men, and you got men who are not attracted to women. And we have those sectors. She's like, but she's about to recruit that girl. And she did. So, and here's the thing. I later I remember telling my wife later on, I remember seeing that same girl on Wildin' Out as one of those Wildin' Out girls. And I was like, wow. So it's all
Wow.
interconnected. But to
Wow.
answer your question, yes. For women who are not attracted to men, they have the same circles, and they call them studs today. They call them studs today for women that are attracted to other women, and they train those women. So I've seen it all.
Wow. Wow. Well, I tell you what, because I know your wife told me that I got limited time with you because you're supposed to go eat. So I want to respect her. If you guys would like to ask him some questions before we go, um, I know that the feed is a little delayed. So if you guys would like to ask a question, go ahead. We're gonna answer just a few questions really quick, and then we're gonna let him go because he has to go eat. His wife told me specifically he needs to go eat.
Yeah.
So
Sorry
ladies
if
and
my
gentlemen, if
internet
you like,
connection is slow too, sis.
how?
I'm sorry if my internet connection might be slow. I
Oh
apologize.
no, it's been good. It's been
Oh,
good since we've been on live.
oh, good, good.
So let's see. Would anybody like to say anything? Would anybody well not say anything? Would you like to ask some questions?
I'll be happy to answer questions.
I'm trying to see some questions come up. Can y'all ask some questions? And the feed is real slow, so I apologize.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Maybe next time I'll use my Restream. Restream, it filters the comments really, really fast and it's connected to others.
Okay,
But I was trying to use my camera. My camera connected better to Zoom than it did with Restream.
gotcha.
Demi Rivera said, how about, I don't know what this is. How about MLM companies?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So, what's the person's name who asked that? Vera?
It was a DeMary.
T. Mary.
Is
Yes,
DeMary?
yes. And major. It happens majorly at MLM companies because
Oh, multi-level companies. Okay.
yeah, it happens majorly with them. Majorly. Be very careful with MLM companies. Be very
Wow.
careful because they have these power circles. They have inner circles in each one. I've never met one that doesn't have it. Matter of fact, there was an MLM company that did something with coffee. Recently, they were really big at one moment. And this is not too long ago. They were moving coffee. What was the name of that company, Mimi? Do you remember? I wish I could remember. They had little packets of coffee, sis, and it was an MLM company, and they were doing very big. One of the guys who was at the top later came to me and my wife and told us why he's leaving. And yeah, he told us why he was leaving, and it was not good. He couldn't take it anymore. He was like, he said, "I'm tired of using my house." He had some big mansion or estate somewhere, and he was like, "I'm tired of using my mansion as some kind of brothel. I'm tired of using my mansion for recruits like this." Yeah, he went in on it. And to answer your question, I'll go into deep detail about that side of it
At
at
the
the conference.
conference.
But yeah, to answer your question, be very careful with them. It's a most of the time the MLMs are a front. They are a
For
front
this.
for this.
Wow. I know C. Renee said, how can we identify these cults as we're dating these folks? Well, number one, do know that he'll answer that question at the conference. And then number two, my question is do you consider them cults?
Yes,
Okay.
100%. 100%.
Okay. Okay.
100%.
So C. Renee, if you want more information, you can register on overcoming narcissist abuse, one word, .ticketleak.com. You can come in person or you can go online. Ticket sales for in-person conference ends tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and which is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can do Zoom. We will be doing Zoom. So we will be live on Zoom. And so those questions that you're asking, he will be addressing some of those. Well, he's going to, a lot of those questions that you're asking are actually for the people at the conference. You got to be at the conference. You got to answer those. Let me see. What can we do to stop this and get this truth out? I have been trying to tell about these circles. Got to be at the conference to get the answer. He gonna answer those questions. That's why that's why I put him on here, so you guys know how much valuable information he has, and what it is that you're asking is those things that he's gonna be addressing at the conference. That's why I tell you guys to register and come to the conference. You never know what we're gonna talk about. Last year we did this conference, it was phenomenal. This year is gonna be phenomenal. Rory Wright said, talk about the MGTOW.
Oh yeah, we could talk about them all day. We could talk about the red pill, purple pills. You know, we could go through the MGTOWs, men going their own way. And we could talk about the alpha males. I'm going to break all of it down, but do not be fooled. They all circumvent right back into one another. Just because you think that the MGTOWs are against the red pills and the red pills are against the alpha, no, it's not really like that. See, at the bottom of it all, they call those people ants. They call those people ants, A-N-T-S. That's what the guys at the top say. Look at the ants.
Wow.
Because the ants don't know much. They're just brainwashed. It's the guys at the top that know it all, right? But I'm going to break this down. I'm going to break that down at the conference too, because I think a lot of people need to know exactly how it works inside. And I'm going to break that down.
See, you guys don't want to miss it. He's going to be talking about this for like an hour and a half. So Rhonda M says, since you were in New York City, do you think this type of thing is really big in New York? I can definitely see it.
Let me tell you something. Do I think it's really big in New York? I know it's really big in New York. It's gargantuan in New York. It's gargantuan in Chicago. It's gargantuan in Florida. It's gargantuan worldwide. It's international. I was in Spain, and and it was ridiculous what I saw in Spain. I was in Israel, blown away at what I saw in Israel. Like I was telling my sis here, Dr. Carmen, I'll be going to Berlin. And you know what? I wouldn't expect it, nothing more than to see it there. I know I'm going to see it there because I know what I'm looking for. I know what to look for.
Wow. Global, you guys.
Global. I would also say to that also in New York City, just in the city itself. Let's forget everywhere else. Just if we were to just focus on New York, the city, you can't escape it.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I was trying to read another comment. Hold on.
I hope I answered that question though for her, because if you were to just take the city by itself, forget the boroughs, forget things going outside of that like the upstates, just the city itself, it's so much of it going on there, you would be scared. You would actually, it would make you think that your reality is the false thing and this is the real reality.
Let me look. I don't mean to make these uncomfortable pauses. It's not for the purpose of manipulating you. It's the purpose of reading the comment. Look, now I'm all sensitive to what you said. No, I'm reading the comment so I can read another question for you.
But you know, the invisible chokehold works on men too. They use it.
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, think about it, you know, and this is, as a therapist, a lot of the things that you're saying is things that we were taught in an academic setting for the purpose of helping people, not hurting people. And so, you know, as I was learning, for example, about narcissist abuse and what they do, and I said, they're not doing anything new. They're taking something that was meant to be used for good and they're turning it around and using it as a weapon and using it for bad. Because that is exactly, if you really think about it, as a therapist, realistically, when, for example, cognitive behavior therapy, cognitive meaning changing the way that you think in order to change the behavior. There's also changing the behavior in order to change the thought. It depends. You have to get to know the client in order to determine how they learn. What is your learn? Are you audio? Are you visual? Are you both? Are you tactile? Are you hands-on? So we have to determine how you learn. So it depends. Either if I can change the way that you're thinking to see things differently, you'll change the way that you're behaving. But if you're not a thinker cognitive type, if you're not a cerebral type individual, then what I would have to do is I would have to teach you, change your behavior like this and watch and see what happens, so that the behavior, when you change the behavior, see, but think about what I'm saying. What I'm really doing is I'm manipulating.
Yeah.
I'm manipulating the situation. If you look up the term manipulation, it can be used for good or bad, because manipulation, it can be used for good or bad. And most of us are manipulated in therapy. You're really manipulating in order for people to change the way that they're thinking. You're having to manipulate their thoughts, even having to listen to their narrative, because there is something called narrative therapy, where you're actually teaching them how to change their narratives in order to change the way that they think. So imagine, as a therapist, and then you're hearing this and people are using this. This is nothing new to us, so that means that they're taking something and they're using something, and they're using something good and they're flipping it around to use it for evil. So the problem becomes is that when we try to help people in therapy that have come out of a situation like that, they'll call us the manipulators, they'll call us the abusers, they'll call, and then we have boundaries, because a victim or survivor will manipulate too to get their needs met. But when they cannot manipulate you and get their way with you in therapy, for example, or coaching, get their way with you, then you're the problem. You're the abuser, you're the manipulator. I can't believe it, because it doesn't work, because we use the same skill set. We just use it for good. Wow. And they recognize it, but they recognize it from a negative standpoint. So when we're doing what we're doing, they assume that we're like that too. And then think about it. Look at all the influencers that you have out here. People that are on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I'm not going to say all of them. A lot of them are narcissists, and a lot of them would listen to videos of professionals, actual professionals, and they use that to manipulate and get what they want.
Wow.
Yeah, they manipulate to get what they want. Let me look. Let me see. There's some more question. Demari said, "Can we join online?" Yes, ma'am. If you go, Just Be Real has posted the link. overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com, and you can purchase a ticket so that you can watch the entire conference from 7 a.m. I'm gonna have the camera set up. I'm gonna get my brother to help me set up my cameras so that I can come down there later. But I'm gonna get him to help me set it up, and we're gonna get it set up, and then they're gonna have like a light breakfast around 7 o'clock, and about 7:30, about 7:30, the camera's gonna turn on. So you're gonna be there with us from the morning until the roundtable talk in the afternoon with Apostle Sadler. So yes, if you go online, you will see the exact same thing that people in person see. And you can ask questions too. There will be an opportunity to ask questions. Let's look. Let's look. Fasting forward, you're gonna have to go back and watch the replay. Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to look for some questions in between.
Sure.
And I don't have my glasses on. See, you were smart. You put your glasses on. My glasses are upstairs. Let me see. Okay, well, I guess that's okay. That's it. So, well, that was all the questions. So, okay. Marcus, I appreciate it. I don't want to get in trouble with Mimi. She says she want her husband to eat, and I am not trying to disrespect my sister. Because I got to see my sister when she comes to the conference. I want her side eyeing me while I'm talking, and then I can't focus because her man was hungry this evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, here you have Mr. Marcus Monroe. He is one of the conference speakers. So those of you guys have a lot of questions, and a lot of questions you have, he's going to be answering. Last year I gave him an hour, but it wasn't enough. And so this year we're going to give him an hour and a half, because he's got a lot of information that you guys need to hear. And this is to protect you. This is to teach you how you're training them and how they're training you. So remember, it says training your terrorists, how you're training your terrorists and how your terrorists are training you. And you guys need to be there, because a lot of questions you have, he's going to be talking about. So go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. I have no more payment plans available because the registration for in-person closes tomorrow at 6 p.m. because I have to get the head count into the conference personnel that are at the conference. And so 6 p.m. tomorrow, which is 9 p.m. Eastern time, the in-person ticket sales will end. But the online ticket sales will remain open until the 27th, until the 26th, 27th, because I start traveling on the 28th. And so you guys will still be able, and I really would like, I'll probably end up stopping the sales at 26 on the 26th, because the 27th, I have to provide my team with all the names of who will be online as well, because I have somebody operating my computer. So I'm going to stop the ticket sales on the 26th for online registration, because I have to print it out from it. I think that'd be very respectful for me to print it out ahead of time so that all of you guys will get it, because I have to send an email out to everyone to let them know what the link is to log in. So once again, thank you so much, big brother. I truly appreciate you. And I love you back. And especially you give my sister a hug when you get off camera. Tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And congratulations on your move.
Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying Florida.
Yes, from New York to Florida. What a big change.
Yeah, and you're gonna come down and hang out with us too. Trust me, I'm gonna get you.
Oh, don't worry. I'm doing. Hey, I'm what part of Florida? If you don't mind.
I'm in Gainesville. I'm in Gainesville. Okay. So I'm right by 5 blocks from the university.
Hey, don't worry. When we do the conference in Florida, I'm putting y'all to work. You and Naomi gonna be working. Hey, anybody in the city, I put them to work.
I feel that. I love
it. Marcus, do me a favor. Hey, check this out for me. And Miss Tasha Lelandman, who is actually in Atlanta, she knows she's there. So, hey, Tasha, do me a favor. Hey, Tasha, can you call this number? So, but I am truly looking forward to seeing you and your wife at the conference. Yes, ladies, he is married. He has a beautiful wife, my sister. She's Mimi, and she's waiting for him to get off camera so he can go eat. And so I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hold on just a minute, Marcus, I'm going to cut it off. Sure. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and let me cut off the feed. Hold on.